Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is the Asian Marie Show. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I just want to let you guys know I have a quick little video. Hopefully it's not too long, but I may rant. But I want to just give you guys some tips that are real tips that you can apply today, and that you can apply to the weeks to come. I want to talk to you guys and tell you guys how you guys can actually change the trajectory of your life without the start of your life, or start changing the trajectory without having to read 10,000 books, without having to understand everything there is about finances, without just doing a whole 360. We got to take it 1% at a time. If you're doing 1% better than today than you were yesterday, you still made a change. Okay. So one of the few things, sorry, I'm like rambling, but one of the few things that I want to talk about, I know that a lot of people talk about how money and going to the gym and doing all these things will change the trajectory of who you are and what your life is going to be. But I don't feel like a lot of people talk about how relationships are one of the few things that can also make the greatest impact on who you are and where you're going in life. Okay. I will say that, I've already made this video like 2 times because I was already rambling, so I got my thoughts together a little bit better this time. But relationships have a very strong effect on who you are as a person, whether you realize it or not. Being around people that have the same values as you, has the same morals, have the same principle of working hard, consistency, optimism, kind, and honesty, and compassion and empathy are the things that will basically just change who you are as a person, whether you realize it or not. It's because of the close proximity that you guys have that, I'm sorry, some characteristics do rub off on other people. You get to look at other people as also an example of who you want to be. And I feel like being in certain relationships can really stop you from pursuing certain things. This is the same reason why a lot of people say, oh, don't tell everybody your goals and your dreams, because they might speak down on it. The reason they're speaking down on it, if they're not jealous, it's because they don't understand. And the reason why they don't understand is because you guys don't have the same morals, the same values, the same goals, and you guys are not on the same intellectual or emotional level that you are. And that will hold you back. That will have you saying, actually, do I really want to do this? Because they can be really convincing. The people that aren't really supposed to be in your path, or the people that are going to hold you back, they will make you feel guilty for the simplest things. They will make you feel guilty for wanting to go back to school and you already got a degree. If I can afford to go back to school and I want to get my education on, I should be able to get my education on. Or if I want to change careers, you should be able to change careers. These are the people that you look towards for support, a shoulder to cry on, and to bounce ideas off of. And when people are not on the same level as you, whether it be partnership, friendship, or family, I'm not saying cut them off, but it's time to distance yourself. It's time to realize this is not who I want to be surrounded by. Because I'm sorry, if my dream is to make $5 million a year and I'm surrounded by a bunch of people that literally hasn't even touched 60K a year, how are you going to get to that? Yes, you can still get to that dream, but when you go around them and you tell them that that's your goal, that's your dream, what are you going to hear 9 times out of 10? And I'm saying 9 times out of 10, I'm not saying that there's not people who are supportive. And really, honestly, let's change the example. I don't want people to get too finicky and feel too bad when I'm talking about money. Let's say your goal is to literally travel like 100 different countries by the time you're 40. People who have never stepped out of America, don't even have their passport, are going to say, why would you do that? And I'm not saying everybody, but most of the people are like, why would you do that? You can't do that. That's not possible. Where's the money? Where's the coins for you to do that? Because it's so out of reach for people who don't dream as big as you. It wasn't even on their radar. So when you go around and you're telling them your ideas, you're like, yes, this is what I want to do. you're tripping, you're crazy. And especially in relationships, because they have the power to, I'm talking about partnerships, they have the power to really set you back. If your partner is not on the same level as you and don't have most of the same goals or ideals as you, or if you guys say you guys are two different people, I mean, you guys are, but two different goals, two different dreams, but at the end of the day, you still value the same things. If they don't have that, most of the time, if they aren't emotionally up to par, they're going to tear you down. If they are up to par, I mean, good luck. Thank you for also being emotionally up to par and understanding that you may never understand your partner's goals, but it also like gets lonely not being able to go back and forth with your partner that you're trying to grow and make a life with, and them not being in the same position for you to be able to do it, or them still being in the same position that they were years ago. Understanding seeing people be in the same position that they were 2-3 years ago without making a change, should be the biggest red flag that you ever have. If that's not, oh, I need to get up out of here, this is not what I want to do, they could be the end all be all. But if after encouragement, words of encouragement, after telling them that I want you to be more than what you are right now, I mean, unless they are 100% satisfied, and I'm not trying to push this like self-improvement 24/7 culture. I'm saying this is really what I'm saying. Like, if the goals don't align at the end of the day, and I'm talking about the main goal, the big picture, if they don't align, it holds you back. You're spending all your time trying to encourage this other person to shoot for the stars while you're over here trying to shoot for the moon, and you're wasting your time instead of using that time of words of encouragement for yourself, using those words of encouragement to move you forward, or using that time to learn more skills, to go back to school, to do this, instead of having people fight you on every turn or just not understand you on every turn. I mean, I understand there's a notion where it's like you only need to understand you, but like we as a human being, as a race, we are built on community. And not having those same goals in your community may, I'm not saying cut them all off either, so don't attack me, but I'm saying like learn how to put people in categories, because not everybody's supposed to be in the let's all hold ourselves pinky to pinky and walk through life together. Sometimes it may be, I mean, I love you, but I have to separate myself for you so I can be a better person. And I know somebody can understand the reasoning behind that. I'm sure somebody who's watching this video can relate about stepping away from relationships because, yes, I love you, but I want so much more for my life. And I'm not going to feel guilty about it. And I love you and I want you to also have more for my life, but you also got to focus on you. That brings into my next step, being selfish. Don't make it seem like being selfish is such a bad thing, because it's not. Putting yourself and prioritizing yourself first should always be number one, until you have kids and you're married and you got like all these things. For a moment, for an era, you should have a selfish era. I think having a selfish era is very much needed, very much necessary, very demure. Because right now I'm in my selfish era. I have a white couch. Stop playing with me, okay? No, you can't come over. No, I'm eating on this couch. This is my couch, and I paid for it. But at the end of the day, learning how to prioritize yourself first. This also can basically go hand in hand with the relationships part. You really understand what you truly want in life. You learn about yourself when you're being selfish. What do you actually want to do? What are you doing for yourself that no one else can see? That is just for you. Are you taking yourself out on dates? Are you going out and taking pottery classes? Are you not getting up and going to the gym because you don't want to? Are you like, who do you truly want to be? I feel like this is your selfish error, is your self-identification error. People will sit there and tell you like, oh, you need to do this to learn about yourself. You need to do this. You need to be by yourself. And though I didn't used to believe them, I used to be like, no, you don't need to be by yourself to figure out who you are. You need to, a little bit, because if you're always in a relationship or you're always surrounded by people, I mean, how do you truly know what you're not doing for the cameras? Come on. How do you truly know, like, I know this might be bad, but I want to do it. You know, it's just like, you gotta have yourself a selfish error to really get down to who you are as a person, who your values are, what your dreams are, what your goals are, and not just what everybody else tells you their goals and dreams are, not what everybody in the whole planet will think is okay or what is right and what is wrong, you know? Secondly, I will tell you that simply just opening up a high yield savings account, with either Ally or Wealthfront will definitely change the trajectory of your life. You will start realizing that, wow, I just made $46 this month doing nothing. And $46 might not be enough for you, but if you keep putting money in that high yield savings account and not touching it, you not only have a nice little treasure chest for yourself, for if anything goes wrong, but you're also making money without thinking about it. And I feel like this small step of making money and not even realizing, not even having to do work, alters your brain chemistry a little bit. You're like, wow, I just made $46 and I didn't do nothing but put my own money into a bank account. What else can I make my money off of doing without having to do too much? Or I do have to do a little bit too much for the end goal to be where I don't have to do anything and I still make the same or more amount of money. So I feel like you don't have to be the biggest financial brat, but understanding that you need a high yield savings account to not have your money depreciate is very important. And you can do that today. Going to Wealthfront or Ally or whatever high yield savings account that you are looking at. I'm not saying that you should only use them, but I use both of them and I love them. It's something you can literally do in 45 minutes. Set up the account, wait for approval the next day. Hopefully there's approval, and just really that's literally the biggest start to handling your finances. Come on now. And though people like to say money isn't a big deal, like, money is a tool to get to the things that you want in life. Whether you think it's an important tool or not, at the end of the day, we live in the real world. We live on a real planet. We live in a world where money makes the world go round. So being smart with your money and doing that one simple thing definitely will have you have a little bit better advantage. Also, using your job's 401k and investing your check, not your whole check, because you can only do a percentage, making sure that they match you. I mean, we can talk about that later, but making sure that if they don't match you, at least, a couple percent, like 3%. I mean, it even can go up to 5 or 6. Just having them match you and, mindlessly letting the money from your check go into your retirement fund without even thinking about it can definitely change the trajectory. Because especially for people who say they're going to be at their jobs for 20, 30 years plus, 10 years, 5 years, 3 years plus, like, get them coins. Get your retirement fund in order, because you're literally making money again. You're making money without even thinking about it, and you're saving up for your future. That is another thing that you can do. Maybe you can't do today, I don't know. It really depends on when your benefits are open, usually. But go ahead, check that out. Try to do that and get back to me. Hopefully you made that change. People will say reading, but truly audiobooks, my next and maybe my final one, audiobooks will save your little life. Okay, I'm not telling you to read 10,000 books this year just because. Reading in general will help you. I know a lot of people will be like, you need to read this book so you can make this amount of money in this book, this book, this book. But the truth is, you just need to read a book. Okay? Having Me personally, I like fantasy. I recently read this fantasy book and it was so good. And honestly, sometimes I still think about it. I'm like, wow, that was a good book. I can't believe I read like literally 4 books in like 5 days. Like, that's how good the series was. And sometimes, yes, those self-improvement and them self-help books and those finance books are so good for you, but sometimes they're just so incredibly boring. It's just like, I cannot keep doing this. Having a source of imagination outside of just basic television can also help you. Like, I'm sorry, at the end of the day, I feel like books still can teach you a lesson and also show you self-reflection, whether it is a fantasy book or it's a freaking self-help how to understand yourself book. Because I don't know, I feel like you're reading these books and you really get to see, I mean, it's like a TV show, but it's in your head. And that's really kind of cool. It really opens up your mind to imagining different things. Yes, you can see it on TV, but like using your actual brain and to create this like world on the inside based on whatever you're reading, and just like, wow, I can like literally see it now. Like, this is crazy. Like, what do you mean she's in the underworld and she's with Hades and she's she's saying, I'm like it literally can change your whole perspective on life. Just reading, just because, just for fun. And I'm not saying to not read those books that are about finance and self-help. I'm not saying not to do that. All I'm saying is that it's okay to have a balance, and reading those books will also not only increase your vocabulary, but also increase your way of thinking. It does make you a deeper thinker, I feel like. I think it really pushes you to question things, whether no matter what the book is. I will definitely say fantasy though, and you know, those mysteries, all the kinds of books that you're interested in. I feel like they really open you up to like, wow, that's crazy. Like, I would have never even thought of things like that. You're literally getting a glimpse into other people's minds and how they might view the world, or how they dream about how other worlds could also happen. Like, come on. And I feel like that definitely gives you ideas on how you want to live your life. That definitely opens you up to way more things you might have not thought you were into, or new ideas that you would have never thought about, because you're like, wow, I didn't even think about this, low key. Like, wow, that's kind of crazy. I really think that people try to push the only things you can read are these self-help books and these self-improvement books, but I mean, reading in general is good for you. It's good for the brain. It's good to exercise your imagination, and it honestly makes things a little bit more fun. Having a fantasy book, I mean, I'm only saying fantasy because I like fantasy, but having a book that you actually enjoy, and then, you know, reading ones that you might not enjoy but will also help improve your value of life. So try to find maybe one book. It doesn't have to be, like I said, a self-improvement book, but finding one book that You're like, oh wow, this is actually kind of good. I think I actually want to read this, and see if you like it. Read it. See how you feel after. See how you feel about yourself after. Don't you? I mean, I feel incredibly proud that I literally read like 4 books in a matter of days. And especially as someone who likes to look up TV shows, basically what happens in them, like being forced to actually wait and read and anticipate, like, oh my gosh, I wonder what's going to happen next. It's so exhilarating. It's so like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening. And really, it made me want to just read more. It made me want to expand my way of thinking. And it also made me want to make sure that I have balance when I read. So you can also have fun, because I do feel like reading increases knowledge. And that's something that we all need. Forever learning about yourself, or um, your morals, or the world that you want to create for yourself, I feel like are really important. It's the same as TV shows, but I don't know. It's very different at the same time. I feel like TV shows have to do this dramatization to keep you hooked in, keep you locked in. But I mean, the whole journey of reading a book where it's like, okay, it's good. I'm not thinking right now. Now I'm crying. Now I'm angry. Now I'm satisfied. Or I'm not satisfied. And you like literally took your time, dedicated your time to sitting here and reading a book. It's like, and you're not getting like vision damage because of all the television that you have to watch. I don't know. I think it's just different. I think that it really will have a way of increasing your life and your goals, and just dreaming big, getting big, having your dreams be bigger than life, bigger than the moon, bigger than the sun. So, I know I've been talking for a while. I said I was going to keep this really short. I gave you a couple tips. I think I gave you like 3. I told you I really want to come onto these videos, no prep. The only reason why I redid this video like 2 times was because I just literally kept like going on and on and on. And I was like, okay, let's not try to make this video too long. Let's keep it cute. So that's the only reason why I was just rambling for minutes, for like 10 minutes straight. So I hope that we can do this again. I'm really happy that you guys have tuned in. I want to say that I'm really grateful for this platform to exist, and I'm really grateful to basically have a virtual diary of all the things that I'm thinking right now. Maybe one day I'll show this to my kids, like, yeah, your mom was talking her stuff. Yeah, I mean, POP holding it down. I'm really grateful to basically, hopefully I touched somebody in this video and I'm like, wow, this is real. This is deep. I really hope that you guys like, or even if you don't agree with everything I said, talk to me in the comments. Tell me why you disagree. Tell me your perspective on these things, and I will be sure to respond. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I really appreciate you guys. I hope you guys have a great week. I hope you guys have a great day. I hope work is amazing. I hope you get that money, get them bags, get paid. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in. This is the 3rd video I've done so far consistently, and I just want to tell you guys that I will be back soon. All love. Goodbye.